LinkedIn part 2. Last week I was talking about the minor things that you should do if you're planning on re-engaging on LinkedIn, or if you're starting a LinkedIn profile, or if you've been off LinkedIn for a while and you want to start engaging and posting and sharing and connecting and networking and all the good things on LinkedIn. Then I reviewed 3 basic things that you need to pay attention to, and very quickly they were your profile photo, your cover image, and your tagline, or what's printed underneath your photo, the 3 things that really follow you no matter where you are. So those are the things that I talked about. And then you had a bonus thing. Do you remember what that was? This week, I'm going to talk about 3 more things that you can do on LinkedIn. Hey, Coco, what's up, girlfriend? You're so silly. I love her. She has such a cute personality. But this week I'm going to review 3 things related to content that you can do on LinkedIn to start connecting and engaging and start expanding your network based on the content and value that you're providing. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to jump into 3 tips that you can use this week if you are interested in re-engaging on LinkedIn. And so if you haven't already started to engage in LinkedIn, so last week it was spend 10 to 15 minutes a day getting on LinkedIn, commenting on other people's posts. You can like them, but just make sure that you're leaving comments. That's actually more valuable to them, and it's also more valuable to their connections, and that's how you can expand your network, by showing your value. So when you actually leave helpful and valuable messages or responses on someone's post, then that starts to create a good flag in someone's head saying, hey, Vicki just left this really good message. She's starting to show some interest in my content, and hey, that was very helpful. She didn't only help me because I asked a question, but she's also helping the people who saw my post, are engaging with my post, and hopefully she's connecting with some people there too. So what you can do. Actually, the first thing I'm going to talk about is something that you should not do. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I see a lot of people who aren't familiar or on LinkedIn as much, or are just starting to get back on LinkedIn and they want to start posting content, but probably just don't know what type of content, or maybe don't think that they have any original content or anything creative to post, or they don't know how to create an image in Canva to use on LinkedIn, or any of those types of things. So the one thing I say, and here's your first tip, is what not to do. Great way to start, right? But it's that important. So the first tip I want to share with you this week is to not share other people's content onto your profile. Now, you're probably thinking, I see all kinds of people doing that. The reason why you don't want to just click share and post is because, 1, it's lazy. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's lazy. 2 is because you're not adding any value to it. So anyone who sees that is just like, oh, Vicki just shared this post. I'm just going to go to this post. She didn't say anything about it. She didn't have any comments or thoughts or anything insightful to share. She didn't even say, hey, here's how you can use this information. She simply just clicked share and post. I mean, come on, anybody can do that, right? What not everybody can do, that didn't even sound right, but what people can't do is be you and share what information you know and what knowledge you know and how you can help other people. And that's what you need to do. Is if you are going to share, again, I'll tell you why you shouldn't share, but if, a big if, you are going to share a post, you need to add your comments, you need to add your thoughts, you need to add your insights, your ideas, ask a question, do something insightful that's going to add value to that piece of content and make people want to engage with you on that shared piece of content. But let's get back to the reason why I say you should not share content. And the reason being is that if you were to list, and I don't know the algorithm in LinkedIn, but I do know this, that there are different priorities in the algorithm, just like they are on all social media platforms, including Google, including YouTube, all of them. There's checks, right? So if you're going to do this, you rank higher. If you do this, you rank higher. If you do this, you rank higher. If you do this, you rank lower. Sharing someone's post into your feed, saying like, Vicki shared this person's post and that's all I do, goes way down here. Like, it's a super low priority because it's already out there. That piece of content's already been shared. And now it's like a double share, and it really doesn't mean anything. And especially to the algorithm for your name. And what you want to do is you want to be seen, right? That's why you're sharing content. That's why you're on LinkedIn. So if you're going to do anything, if there's a piece of content or something that somebody's posted and you absolutely love it, and you say, I have so many people in my network that want to see this. They need to see this piece of content. Here's what you need to do instead. Instead of sharing that piece of content, you need to comment on that person's post. You can like it too, or heart it, or carrot, or put the thought type emoji on there too. Don't just do that, but add your comment to that person's post. Here's what happens. In the algorithm, it goes from being down here in a share to up here. Why? Because you're adding content, you're adding value, you're adding thoughts, right? And then it's not just I agree, great post. Add something with context, something relevant, something that's you to that post. And then here's what happens with your network. They see it. They see that, hey, Vicki O'Neill commented on this. They can see that person's post, and they can also see that it's a second connection to them. Now, if that's a person who's of value or could be a great connection for your network, they now have a higher chance of seeing that person and that content because you commented on it versus shared it. Hopefully that makes sense. So keep that in mind. I don't like seeing people share things and I'm like, you're just wasting time. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your post. You're wasting that person's post. Just create the most value that you can by sharing information either on their post or creating your own original content. Tip number 2 is to post regularly. Now, we all get into these patterns of posting and not posting, and you're probably going to get pulled into something at some point where you were posting 2 to 3 times a week, and then you go an entire week without posting anything because things happen, right? You travel and you can't do it. And because you can't schedule posts in LinkedIn, you can with third-party apps, which I don't recommend, but you can't schedule posts on LinkedIn like you can with Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and the other social media platforms. So you do have to be present when you post it. If you can create a pattern where you're posting regularly, then it works favorably for you in the algorithm. Okay, so of course everything that we're doing with social media, and if you're trying to expand your audience and you're not just there for fun and to share pictures of your family and your weekend events and you're just doing it as a hobby, if you're on these different platforms including LinkedIn for business, then you want to post on a regular basis and to be present and to be consistent as much as possible. The third thing, real quick, is to mix up the different types of content that you're sharing. So typing out a post, super easy, right? Create tags, great. Use I shouldn't say tags. Tag people if it's relevant. Don't tag a bunch of people just to tag a bunch of people, because you know what? It annoys a lot of people when you do that. So don't do that. But you can add 3 hashtags. That's what I meant to say. Adding 3 hashtags actually gets included in your URL when your LinkedIn post is found on Google. If somebody's searching for Vicki O'Neill marketing coach, 10K marketing, or Vicki O'Neill 30-day video boot camp, and that comes up and I posted something on LinkedIn about that, then the 3 hashtags I used in that post are going to be tagged onto the URL for that listing or for that search result. So keep that in mind. You don't need to use any more than 3. You can for the purposes of LinkedIn, but it's not going to help SEO type search on Google. So different types of content. You've got just your text. Of course, you can do audio clips. You've probably seen people do this. In fact, I've done this, and I'll include a link in the in the comments description. Yes, I'll include a link in the description for you to click on, and you can see a post that's an audio clip. It's an image and it's just got like the squiggly lines when you can hear somebody's voice. But I did that a lot when I was posting episodes for my podcast. I would take a good clip from that and then share it on LinkedIn. So you can do audio clips, you can do images, which you can easily create on Canva, which I will share another link like I did last week in the description this week. So you can access that very quickly if you want to create some images. And then also video, of course. And I'll include a link below to video that I've posted on LinkedIn as well, just to kind of show you how you can mix these things up. In fact, I'll include an example of all of them so that you can see. And if you want to just click on each one, then you'll be able to see those. And hey, if we're not connected, let's connect while you're out there. You might as well, right? What have you got to lose? You can always let me know too that you found me and clicked on that and connected with me because of this video on YouTube. That's right, YouTube, you rock. I do have one last tip, and it's a bonus tip, of course. But before I get to the bonus tip, I will say this. LinkedIn is a very engaging, interactive, it can be complex. There's a lot of things that I haven't even touched on. Just like with all the other social media platforms, there's all these nuances and things you should do and things you shouldn't do. And here's how to make the best of this, and, your profile, and, what happens to, attaching different types of media to your profile. What does that look like? And what should you do? And pin this and video here. There's all kinds of things. So just know that I've barely scratched the surface. But if you want to know more about LinkedIn, if you want to dive deep into LinkedIn and really get to understand all these different components, I will leave the names of 3 individuals in the description for you to check out. And these are people that I highly recommend on LinkedIn. They're my go-to people on LinkedIn because I rely on everything that they say, and I think you will too, and you will love them. And I'll pick different people from different parts of the country and also the world because, people around the world, they rock. They really do. A bonus tip. This is really it's another don't, okay? So this isn't a do, it's a don't. And here's what you should not do on LinkedIn, just like you shouldn't do this on any other social media platform either, is to be salesy. Yes, you're trying to make a living, you're trying to make sales, you're trying to run a business, you're trying to grow a business. I get it. But nobody wants to hear or see a constant sales pitch, okay? The key to sales today is about helping. It's about educating. It's about solving problems. If you talk to anybody in sales, they are all going to tell you the same thing. How you get there is going to be different. You're going to hear 1,000 different approaches, and you just got to find the one that works for you. But I guarantee the most effective way to get there is to help people. So think of how can I give information to people that's going to help solve their problem, that's going to help them connect to another person, that's going to help them find a new resource. Whatever it is, how can I help? The way that you do that is sharing the different types of content. Okay, so the links that I had mentioned before that I put in the description, those are different resources that you can click on to see how I share information or how I share other people's information, like in a podcast episode. I've done interviews, and the purpose behind that was to share and showcase other people's expertise so that my network could get to know them better and connect with them, right? So that was the reason for doing that. And the same thing for doing videos. And this video, it's helpful, right? That's the point of this video, is to help you and to give you a resource and a place that you can go. And the links are there to help you connect the dots, the name of my podcast. It's to help you connect the dots between what I'm sharing here and how to show it as an actual example on LinkedIn in this case. So keep that in mind, that when you are doing the same thing on social media and you're trying to build a business, the more helpful you can be, the better off you're going to be. That's how you'll make sales. When you connect with people, because people like doing business with people, right? When you can connect with people on a level that they want and are sharing information that they need, that's how you're going to build your business, and that's how you're going to make sales. So don't just post, buy this for me, go here. Don't ask for things all the time, right? So you need to give. All right, well, thank you so much for being here. If you have questions for me on LinkedIn or anything marketing related or video related, if you want to check out the masterclass first and you're like, hey, I've been wanting to get started in video, but I'm not real sure if I really want to or where to even start. I don't have the confidence to be on camera. I wouldn't even know the first thing about doing it. What about the equipment? What about this? If you have so many questions about video, but you know that's something that you need to be starting, then I will include a link below for you to check out the masterclass. So that can be your first point of contact. And just really, it's all about sharing information with you about video. All right, thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And until next time, make today great.